Buddhadhamma, Section 3, The Process of Life, Chapter 5, Law of Kamma, page 449. Factors promoting and obscuring the fruition of kamma. The way in which the law of kamma manifests in people's lives determines various circumstances and triggers responses from outside. It is outlined in the Pali Canon, in the Tipitaka, as relying on the four pairs of factors, the four accomplishments, sammapatti, and the four defects, vipatti. Sammapatti may be translated as accomplishment or advantages. It is referred to the fulfillment of those factors according to the opportunity for good kamma to come to fruition and preventing the effects of bad kamma to the surface. In brief, they are favorable to the ripening of good kamma. They include gati sampati, accomplishment of birth, fulfillment of birth, favorable environment. One is born in a favorable state or a realm of existence, region, or a country in the present lifetime. One's way of life is conducive to the well-being, or one lives in a supportive environment. Upati sampati, accomplishment of the body, fulfillment of body, favorable or fortunate body. For instance, one has an attractive body, graceful appearance. One is enduring to others. One is healthy and strong. Kala sampati, accomplishment of time, fulfillment of time, favorable time. One is born in a time when one's country is in a state of peace, with good leaders and virtuous citizens, when people praise righteousness and condemn evil. On an everyday level, one acts in a timely and opportune fashion. Yoga sampati, accomplishment of undertaking, fulfillment of undertaking, favorable activity. For example, one acts appropriately in line with what is required. One's actions corresponds with one's abilities and strengths. One acts thoroughly, decisively, and to one's full capability. One is skilled at carrying out work. Then we have vipatti, may be translated as defect, weakness, or disadvantage. It refers to a shortcomings and flaws of various factors, which are unconducive to the fruition of good kamma. Instead, provide an opportunity for the effects of bad kamma to manifest. In brief, they are unfavorable factors triggering the ripening of bad kamma. They include jati vipatti, defect or failure with regard to place of birth. One is born in an uncultivated, unfavorable state of existence. Region or country. One's way of life is not conducive to well-being. One lives in an unsupportive environment. Upati vipatti, defective or failure as regard to the body. For example, one body is deformed, feeble, and unattractive. One's appearance is repulsive. One is unhealthy, afflicted with various diseases. Kala vipatti, defective or failure as regards to time. One is born in a time when one's country is in a state of peril, calamity, or turbulence. The country's leaders are immoral. The society is degenerate and full of oppression, praising the wicked and persecuting the virtuous. One acts in unseemly, inappropriate ways. Vipatti, defective or failure in regards of undertaking. For example, one is engaged in wrongful activity. One's actions do not correspond with one's abilities and strength. One makes effort in inappropriate ways. One's efforts are half-baked. Pair number 1. Pair number 1. Accomplishment of birth. One is born in a developed region and receives good education, although one's inherent intelligence or degree of effort is low. One still gets more education and gains a higher position in society than someone with more intelligence and diligence who was born in the countryside. One may be born as a devata, a celestial being. However, one's bad character may be, one lives untroubled and in comfort. And number 2, defect as regard birth. Example, an awakening Buddha appears and teaches the law of Dharma, but one is born in the outback or in the hellish realm, and one thus has no opportunity to listen to the Dhamma. One is intelligent, but one is born in the wilderness of a so-called dark region, Kala Dipa, and thus has no opportunity to become a learned member of an academic circles. One lives in a land or a community where other people do not appreciate one's knowledge and skill. One does not fit in. One is looked down on or persecuted. A virtuous and skilled person is in a position of work that does not complement his skill. He is thus a burden for others and is unhappy. This final example may be also accompanied by a defect as regard to undertaking. Pair number 2, accomplishment of body. One has a beautiful and attractive physical appearance, although one may have been born in a poor family or in a remote area. One's physical appearance helps one to attain a state of honor, prestige, and happiness. And number 2, defect as regard to the body. One is born in a fortunate location or in an affluent family, but one is deformed or physically handicapped. One does not obtain a prestige or a pleasure otherwise afforded by these circumstances. When 2 people are matched in their attributes, in the case that the physical appearance is the factor for consideration, an attractive or handsome person will often benefit over an unattractive or sickly person. Even in the case when the physical appearance is not ostensibly a factor, it is a normal for most people to incline towards someone with an attractive appearance. Those people with defects as regard to the body must accept this truth of the world. They can reflect that only those who are endowed with exceptional qualities, surpassing ordinary human beings, are truly impartial and unbiased as regard to physical attributes. Knowing this, those people with defective bodies need not to be distraught. They should strive to cultivate other qualities that are exceptionally and outstanding. They may need to make 2 or 3 times the effort to achieve this than the effort required by the attractive person to reach certain forms of success. The important thing is not to get discouraged. One is aware of what one's lacking. One hastens to strengthen those factors that can be improved. An understanding of one's karmic situation is thus of benefit. Pair number 3, accomplishment of time. One is honest and virtuous person born at a time when one's political leader are morally upright and one's societal extol virtue. As a consequence, one is honored and prospers. One's country is at peace. Wise people in such a society are able to share their knowledge and benefit others. Similarly, there may be time when people cherish poetry. Those who are skilled poets will flourish. And number 2, defect as regard time. Here, the opposite is true. At the time when society has grown corrupt and the leaders are devoid of righteousness, good people are not praised and they may even be abused. Even if one is intelligent and capable, it will be difficult to engage in constructive work. When one's country is in turmoil because of war, few people are interested in those who advocate peaceful means. Similarly, at a time when people prefer crude, frenetic music, those people skilled at more subtle, tranquil forms of music will find little favor. And pair number 4, accomplishments of undertaking. Although one may be endowed with such much virtue or ability, one knows with whom to associate. One knows how to avoid those things that should be avoided. One is able to forfeit that which should be forfeited. In this way, one is able to prosper and one's defect do not surface. Similarly, one may be skilled at counterfeiting documents, but one uses the skill in a positive way, for instance, in examining legal evidence. Number 2, Defect with regard to undertaking, one possesses sufficient knowledge and one's other personal attributes are favorable. But one is addicted to gambling and does not thus one is not hired for a specific job. One is superb at running and has not a potential to be praised a sprinter. But one uses his talent to snatch people's belongings. One is an expert artisan, but one performs some kind of office work for which one lacks skill. The most important part results from the level of one way of life, level 3 mentioned earlier, pertaining to worldly things, Buddhadhamma, which are subject to fluctuation and uncertainty. They are relatively superficial and do not touch upon the core of one's life. Their degree of impact of one's life depends on one's levels of attachment. If one is able to come to terms with these things, one's happiness may remain steady, or one's dukkha will be minimized. For this reason, Gautama Buddha encouraged people to develop panya, wisdom, accompanied by mindfulness, to be diligent and heedful. In times of happiness, one does not get carried away. In times of difficulty, one does not become despondent or over-distraught with slip into immoral or destructive ways of conduct. Rather, one alleviates the situation by way of panya and awareness, by wisdom and awareness. When one still desired delightful and agreeable worldly things, ita ramana, one accomplishes one's own advantages, sampati, and disadvantages, vipati. One strengthens and weakens one's strength and weakness and embraces the former while avoiding the latter. One then tries to reach desired goals, and one benefits through wholesome actions, which brings about a profound stability to all areas of one's life. One remains from unwholesome conduct because personal advantages and disadvantages are uncertain. When favorable times passes, any bad actions one may have committed bear fruit. In summary, when one is faced with various factors belonging to different laws, niyama, both laws of nature and conventional laws, one should focus on cultivating goodness and integrity in relation to the law of kamma. Acting in this way provides a degree of stability and security. Factors connected to other laws can be applied with wisdom in a supplementary way, insofar as they are not harmful. If one is able to practice in this way, one is able to benefit from all these four pairs of accomplishments and defects. One is able to apply both the laws of nature and conventional laws into one advantage. Some people need to be reminded not to get caught up into such thoughts as, why did he succeed, even though he didn't do anything good? Why does nothing happen to her, even though she acts badly? Why doesn't anything good happen to me, even though I have acted virtuously? One may fail to make a thorough inspection of factors linking with various laws. Niyama, with this conclude, I don't possess the intelligence to draw benefit from other sources, and even to inherit karmic factors that are unfavorable. If one remains caught up in these kinds of thoughts, matters will most likely get worse. According to the central message of Gautama Buddha teachings, people prefer good deeds, do not get stuck at the stage of expecting mundane personal rewards, Buddhadhamma, material gain, honor, pleasure, and praise. Because true wholesome action springs from wholesome roots of non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. Such people act with relinquishment, abandoning unwholesome qualities in their hearts. By kindness and compassion, they help others to be free from dukkha. They promote a peaceful coexistence amongst people. They act with wisdom in order to deepen an understanding of the truth, to realize awakening, and to establish the law of Dharma as guiding force for themselves and for society. This can be classified as the highest form of kamma. It is kamma performed in order to bring about the end of kamma, as referred to earlier.